Good morning, Facebook community. Can you hear me? We'll wait a few minutes for people to hop on. Good morning, Leah. All right. I say we get this party started. Good morning, everyone. Nice to be able to talk to everyone again from the Gen X family, Gen X community. Once again, my name is Jon Scheffers. I am the Peak Female team lead. And today I just want to share with you some of the highlights from the latest sire summary, some of the changes to the evaluation system, and then some of the highlights of the bulls that we newly released here in August. So I guess let's start with some of the highlights. We had a number of new releases this proof round. We had 28 new Holstein bulls, 7 new Jersey. We added to our polled pipeline. We had 7 new Holstein bulls that were either heterozygous or homozygous polled. And we had 5 new releases that rank number 1 through 5 on our ICC index. We'll talk about some of those bulls a little bit later. Bulls such as Peak Let's Go and Peak No Excuse will be bulls that we'll highlight later. We're very excited for the pipeline, the Gen X pipeline. We've had some massive successes within our Peak Female program. We're number 1 right now when we look at genomic results for Holstein bulls across all ages. That would be for TPI and net merit. Currently, we have 47 of the top 100 bulls that were created through the Peak Female program, and we have 41 of the top 100 net merit males that were created. So the future is very bright for Gen X. We're very excited for these young boys to grow up, make lots of semen, and make lots of money for our customers. So I do want to talk a little bit about some of the changes to the evaluation system. There were some notable changes. I think we'll just start right off with the calving ease traits. That was probably the most noticeable change that people saw or customers saw when they looked at the fruits. So the reason why we changed the calving trait evaluations is there was definitely a mismatch between what was published and what our customers were seeing as far as dystocia rates and stillborn rates. Historically, we've used a phenotypic base of 8% to express these traits. So if a bull was less than that, he was below average or good for those calving traits. If he was higher than 8, he was poor for that. So when we look at the new calving ease traits, especially sire calving ease and daughter calving ease, you'll notice that most of those range from 1 to 4%, which is very eye-opening. We have a new base of 2.2 for sire calving ease, which is more in line with what our customers see on their dairy farms. When we look at the stillborn traits, the new base will be 5.7 for sire stillbirth and 6.6 for daughter stillbirths. Now keep in mind that with these calving and stillborn trait evaluations, they look at the incidence rate of dystocia or stillborns in virgin heifers bred to conventional semen. We know that dystocia rates are much lower when we use sex semen. We know that dystocia is much lower when we breed a cow. So keep that in mind when you use this evaluation and how it's expressed. It's expressed as difficult births or stillborns in virgin heifers bred to conventional semen. Now, even though we have a different scale, the rank stays the same. So if you see bulls that are less than 2.2, that means that they're below average. They're going to drive the breed forward. Bulls that are greater than 2.2 are going to be above the incidence rate that we normally see. So a lot of you are going to ask, well, how do I use this information? I think if you're using conventional semen on heifers, what's your risk appetite? Are you concerned about that? Keep that in mind. But if we're using sex semen on our heifers, maybe this isn't a trait that we look at because we've made so much improvement over the last 20 years for this trait. When we're breeding cows, we know that cows generally have less dystocia, so we can probably use a wider range of bulls than we've ever used before because of that. That's kind of the quick and dirty on calving ease, on the calving traits. Get used to those new values, get used to that new base. Hey, Holstein's really becoming the calving ease breed, and it's pretty awesome to see the improvement we've made over the last 20 years. One thing that changed this sire summary that a lot of us aren't talking about was some of the changes that were made to expected future inbreeding. So this occurred across all bulls. So what happened was that the CDCB decided to use a more up-to-date reference population, and they're going to continue to update that reference population for those calculations on a more regular basis. So don't be surprised if you look at a bull's proof and you see that the EFI is higher than it was back in April. That's because we're using a more recent and more up-to-date reference population, which is going to be, a truer value of what to expect when mating that bull to the general population. We saw on average, when we looked at bulls born in 2019 and 2020, that the average EFI on the Holsteins went up 0.6 of a point. When we look at other changes, so that's a little bit about EFI. I'm going to touch back on that a little bit later because it all goes into some more of the changes, the sire summary. We did see some minor changes to the net merit index and TPI. The net merit index put a 1% less weight on the calving traits, and that's because since we changed how the trait was expressed, there's inherently less variation for that trait. So there was a 1% decrease in calving ability for net merit, and that was redistributed to a lot of the other traits in very small increments. We also saw with TPI some adjustments to daughter calving ease and daughter stillbirths. They also adjusted the constant of the TPI formula by 7 points due to some of those changes. So if you see some minor tweaks on the TPI values from animals from April to August, those are some of the reasons why. What all of this means is it really means kind of a mini base change. We just had one in April. We kind of have one right now in August. That's mainly due to the calving ease traits with the EFI evaluation. That had a big impact on what you see. So what we observed on the peak side was a 25 net merit change from April to August. Now keep in mind what really matters is the rank of the bulls. That is not going to change. So focus on the rank and not the number. When we look at ICC, our ideal commercial cow index, we had some changes there. We updated that formula to reflect the changes in the calving traits. We added the HH6 haplotype to our fertility and fitness category. And then we made some changes to the mastitis evaluation that's used in ICC. So historically, we had used the CDN evaluation, and we decided to use the CDCB trait because of its higher reliability. On the Jersey side, we've always used age at first calving. Genex has had an internal evaluation that looks for Jerseys that will calve at an earlier age, so they have less days on feed. But that trait was changed and swapped out for early first calving, which is a CDCB trait and has more evaluation. So like I said, those are kind of the quick updates and some of the changes. I would encourage people on this call, hey, if you have any more questions about sire calving ease, the changes to EFI, feel free to send a note on this chat and we'll definitely address those. When we look at some of the bull highlights this way, so we'll start with the Holstein. We have a new leader on the ICC list. His name is Let's Go. Code number is 1H15382. Let's Go is a Cabot son out of a Burley. Burley is one of the better daughter-proven bulls in the breed today. So there's confidence in the pedigree there. He's a really big time component bull, really strong health. He's a bull that we have used within our peak female program to make the next generation of, elite ICC sons. And he's really unique. When you look at his linear, he's definitely going to be a stature improver. And what I mean by that, he's going to make cows the right size. He's not going to make them too big. He's also over a point on udder, so it's very unique to find bulls that will make cows smaller, but will make udders better, because generally it's hard to find those. So that's one we're excited about. Like I said, Let's Go, cab it out of Burley, big time health, will moderate stature, great uddered cows. We're really excited about him. Coming in number 2 on our ICC list will be 1H 15317, No Excuse. No Excuse is a unique son in that he's an Alta Explosion son. He traces back to one of the breed's best brood cows, in my opinion, Robust Delicious. So he comes from a cow family that has really proven itself and has a great track record in the breed. He really checks all the boxes. He's over 1,000 milk. He's got positive components. He's over a point on DPR. He's over a 1.5 on udders. He's a low somatic cell score. So, unique sire, great cow family. He's really got it all. We're really excited about him. Let's talk a little bit about our polled options as well. Like I said earlier, we released 7 new polled bulls. 2 of those are homozygous. One of the bulls bred by Peak is 1H15272, Peak Alta Blues Clues. Apparently that was a popular kid show back in the 90s. I had no idea. We're really excited about him. He's an Alta Delson son. We've used him as a mating sire. Big time components, huge health, great udders. He's our leader for polled on the ICC basis. We're excited to make lots of sons from him and create the next generation of elite polled bulls for Genix. Another polled bull to make note of is 1H15417, Ozark P. So he's definitely one of the best in the breed for polled. He's an early Game Changer son, which is very exciting. Game Changer is a bull that's very well known within the Genix family. This bull was bred by the Reagan-Dana family, so that herd's been really good, in supplying Game Changer and supplying this unique son. You look at his pedigree. We said he's a Game Changer. Behind that, we've got a Delta, Silver, Alta Oak. Really some of the best bulls, proven bulls that have ever been. So really solid sire stack. The polled gene's really strong in this family. I had no idea where the polled came from this, and I had to study many generations of the pedigree. So I actually had to go back to 1986 to find a polled sire in this pedigree. So there was a bull in 1986 named Hickory Me Lassiter P, and that's where the polled gene comes from Ozark. That really means there's no Lawn Boy P in this family. So not only is he elite, he's from a good cow family, but he's pretty unique when you look at the polled options. So very excited. He's going to be available Gen Choice only. Big time components, big DPR. He's over a point on DPR, and he's over 2 on udder composite. So Ozark P, early Game Changer son, and polled. Just one other Holstein I'll touch base on for some of our type enthusiasts. We released the Alta Hot Rod son by the name of Hot Topic, 1H15332. This bull is near 2,900 TPI. He's over 2 on udders. He's over 2 on types. So, we're definitely trying to create bulls for all segments. We've got our height ICC bulls with Let's Go and No Excuse, but we also have the bulls for the most discriminatory type breeders. When we look at our Jersey bulls, very excited about the new releases there. Like I said earlier, we had 7 new Jersey bulls, new sons by Zinc, Achiever, have a son by Ivory, which is a very solid proven bull. What's unique about our Jersey bulls is that they're all positive for JUI. They're all positive for DPR. When you look at the group as a whole, they average just shy under 7 JUI and just shy under 1.9 DPR. So we're really focused at Genex at bringing DPR back into the Jersey gene pool. We've definitely gone the wrong way over the last 5 years. So it's really exciting to have a group of bulls that not only are going to, have good fertility or breed leading fertility, but they're going to have great udders. And you know what? They've got great components too. Big time component bulls. The group averages 0.10 on fat percent and 0.07 on protein percent. So those are some quick highlights of the day. So to recap it, 28 new Holstein bulls, 7 new Jersey. We've got 7 new polled. We're really excited about the future for Genex. Through peak, we've bred the highest number of top genomic bulls in the top 100, 4 net merit, 4 TPI. Keep in mind the changes. What's really important is the relative rank of these bulls. We did go through a mini base change, but that's mainly due to the changes in EFI and sire calving ease. And, we look forward to having more reports like this to come. Really excited to see what our pipeline is going to look like in December. We have a lot of awesome bulls in the wings and can't wait to release them. So what I'm going to do right now is I am going to go through some of the comments, go through these, hopefully answer some questions. So let's see. So we got a question from Leo Larka. So Leo says, good morning. Previously, it was recommended to use bulls with calving ease less than 8 in Holstein for cows. Now, what is the recommended number for Holstein and Brown Swiss? So Leo, when we look at calving ease, I would say that you could use really any bull with confidence, as long as you're using sex semen and heifers. Using semen within cows. I think when you're using conventional semen on virgin heifers, what's your risk appetite? Are you willing to sacrifice 50 ICC or 50 net merit for a 0.5 percentage on sire calving ease? So I really hate to give a hard cut and say this is where the line needs to be, but it really depends on yourself as a customer or your customers, and what their risk appetite is. We've got another question from Leah. She says, from a product line procurement perspective, do you still look at sire calving ease with all the changes? Since the advent of peak, we would put a lot of emphasis on sire calving ease. We wanted to create genetics for our customers that would result in no problems in the calving pens. So we do look at it a little bit now, but we're definitely putting a lot less emphasis on that as we did before. If anything, we feel the really opportunity in the calving trace is for daughter stillbirths and sire stillbirths. So we're going to kind of shift our focus on our selection, and we're going to look at how can we take the Holstein breed, for example, from 6% daughter stillbirths or sire stillbirths down to 2%. So that's our next really goal, is to bring that down, because a dead calf on arrival is definitely very costly for our customers. So Mark had asked the question, Mark Clark, was the change a negative 25? Yeah, Mark. So when we look at across all G-coded and A-coded bulls, so the A-coded would be our proven, I would say that the average change was about 20 to 25 net merit change. Now keep in mind that there's going to be some variance around that mean, because there's certain bloodlines that, for example, either went up or went down with the proof change, but on average, I'd say 20 to 25 is where that would fall. Brenda apparently likes humming the song from Blue's Clues. Scott says the downward trend in Holstein sires was evident mini base change. Have you calculated an average drop across the industry? Yeah, so just like I said, Scott, so about 20 to 25 is what we saw, maybe a little less for the proven versus the genomics, but that was what we had calculated internally for the drop from April to August. Brian asked the question, how do you choose which bulls to sort? Is there any plans to sort ration? I will have to get back to you on that. A lot of it is demand for the bulls, so if we have a lot of demand, that will, play a factor into that. Also, we do have some bulls that, even though we want to make sorted semen, don't always cooperate with the sorters, but definitely he's an exciting bull. He's got a very unique pedigree, great maternal line. We used ration as a sire of Sons for Peak, so I definitely understand, your interest in that. I guess other than that, that kind of wraps up things. I want to thank everyone for joining in this morning for the quick sire summary update. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. Hope everyone stays safe and healthy through our COVID pandemic and across the world, and look forward to delivering semen from these great Gen X bulls to our customers across the world. Thank you.